This is Good Morning Albany, a motivational podcast to get your wheels turning. You're here with Shaleem, a very sought-after wedding and portrait photographer. I'll be sitting down with creatives to discuss their process, their experience, and how to make a difference. We have a special guest today, Albany High alumni, Ualbanys student, Jahari Coleman. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jahari Coleman. Born and raised in Albany. Went to Albany High School. I'm currently at University at Albany. I run track and field there. I major in journalism, minor in communications. I'm 20 years old. I have my own clothing brand. Yeah, I'm trying to do big things.
Oh, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. I like that.
Doing a lot.
So you want to interview me for a class project. Give me a little bit more details on that.
All right. The class project is basically just to interview someone who has good work experience, who seems like they're really dedicated about their craft, very passionate about their craft, seems like a hard worker. Yeah, and I feel like you were a good candidate for me, seeing you on my Snapchat, Facebook, everywhere else with all your craft all over. Like, you're very known as a photographer around here in the Albany area, so I felt like, why not just reach out and see if you would do it? And you did. So here we are.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So I'm going to let you go first and interview me. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to reverse it and interview you. Okay. I have a lot of questions about how one makes it through college.
Honestly, ask away, because I got a lot to tell you.
Okay. So and which class is this?
This is for my narrative journalism class.
A what?
Narrative journalism class.
No, I'm just playing. But go ahead, ask away. Let's start the interview.
All right. Well, start off by just introducing yourself with your name and your age for me.
All right. I'm Shaleem. I've been doing photography for about 6 years now. I started when I was 22. I'm 28 now. A friend of mine had a small DSLR camera, and one Christmas, I'm like, we're gonna just take pictures. You know what I mean? I'm looking for another way to make money, another hustle. And we put out a flyer on Instagram and Facebook about taking Christmas pictures, and no one bought. Not one share, not one comment. We didn't get discouraged because at the time we weren't photographers. So I went back to working at Hannaford, and that Valentine's Day, we put a little more effort into it. We rented out a community room. We bought some backdrops, some basic lighting. And that Valentine's Day weekend, I made $800. This is just friends and family coming to support. From there, I seen the potential. So that Easter was better than that Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. So I started learning and perfecting my craft. Mm-hmm. I spent countless hours on YouTube. I say I went to YouTube University. You know what I mean?
What year is this?
It's got to be 2013. Mm-hmm. 2012. Yeah, I told my friend I'm going to get him out of his mom's house. So that September, we moved in together. We had a large enough living room to do photography in. That worked out for maybe a year. And then as the business grew and I learned more, I knew I needed a photography studio. Mm-hmm. So I got my first studio. 2014. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I started building more clientele and just put myself out there more. And then that ran its course. And then I moved here to 98 Everett Road, and I love it.
And where was the last, your first studio at?
My first studio was at 214 Western Ave. Mm-hmm. I was down in the basement, not a lot of foot traffic, not very visible.
It's not at all. Western Ave is just like highway to me.
You see what I'm saying? But it was on right on Western and Quail in College Town. Mm-hmm. So I just wasn't visible down there in the basement. Mm-hmm. And just learning and growing, I knew I needed a storefront. Yeah. So once I seen this place, it was like a no-brainer.
Had to level up. Let's see. So you kind of answered most of my questions, but how has photography been for you? Has it been easy, hard? Do you enjoy it some days? Is it overwhelming?
I got a saying. I say nothing is hard. Mm-hmm. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it definitely was challenging. Mm-hmm. Just learning, the learning curve. Because I knew nothing about photography. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm self-taught 100%. So learning the camera was one hurdle. Now I can take a decent picture. But learning the business is a whole nother challenge, a whole nother hurdle within itself. And that's where I'm at now. It's like really perfecting the business side of it. But it's all love. Like I love it. You know what I mean? I come in, I make my own hours. You know what I mean? I put the pain in, I put the work in. And then I love the wow factor of a client. Like when they come, they get their pictures taken. I go back, I edit them, and then I show it to them. It's like, wow, this is me. That's like the beauty of it all.
What are some things you want to improve with your craft?
Really scoped in light. Like photography is just like light and shadows, and I really want to perfect light. Like it's like it's hard to explain without sounding like I'm speaking Chinese to you, but yeah, it's scoped in light, and then like perfecting the business side of it. Like I'd rather be a 6-7 photographer and a 10 at business than a 10 photographer and like a 5 at business. Yeah, because then you're like gonna be like a starving artist.
So, you have your studio, you seem like you're doing really good, but there's always other goals out there. So what other goals do you have for your business, for you as a photographer, you as a person, like as a businessman? Like what goals do you still have in life?
The goals that I have, I want to staff 5 to 10 people. Like that's like a major goal for me. You know what I mean? I done help myself. Now I want to help others. You know what I mean? I want to be an employer. I want to get published as a photographer, and then as a person, I just want to help other people.
What motivates you every day to come in here and like take pictures of people and make people's pictures look nice? Like, is it something that motivates you? Is it somebody that motivates you? Like, what motivates you as an everyday photographer?
Financially, my family motivates me because I have to put food on the table. You know what I mean? So that definitely comes first. But then as an artist, it's just learning. Like learning is like fun to me. Like doing this podcast this last week, I learned so much just how to hit the record button, just how to speak into the microphones, that I need headphones, that I need this lighting. It's just the learning curve. The learning is like nutrition to me. You know what I mean? Just the learning curve.
So just to wrap this up, because you answered most of my questions without me even having to ask you, what tips would you give people who are in the steps of being their own businessman, business lady, photographer, just entrepreneur?
Is stick with it. This is what I tell everyone. Like you have your clothing line. You may or may not sell an item today, and then you may get discouraged and be like, I'm not going to stick with it next month. I just say stick with it because I didn't know anything about photography, and I just stuck with it. I just learned. I just started perfecting my craft and continued to put myself in position to win. You know what I mean? We're in a time where we want instant gratification. You may put out a shirt or something on Facebook and no one likes it, and you're like, oh man, this shirt is horrible. No, push that shirt again tomorrow. And then push that shirt again the day after that. And then you know what? Next month, push that shirt again. And then once people start knowing you for the things that you're doing, you're going to love it. So anyone that wants to start a business is just like sticking with it. There's like instant gratification doesn't like exist in the business world. You know what I mean? It's like working out. You do a push-up today, you're not going to see the results tomorrow. You got to continue to do those push-ups, and maybe 6 months down the line, you might start to see a little definition or something.
All right. So that's just wraps up all of my questions I had for you. Yeah. You go ahead and ask me away.
Okay. So it's like, I have a couple questions. I'm going to try to remember them. But one, I really want to ask you, how do you feel about the state of education now? Like, do you feel someone needs to go to college in order to be successful?
For me personally, I'm going to speak from experience. So for me, I feel like you don't need to go, but you do need to go. Like right now, I'm chasing this degree just to have it so no one can say that. So no one can just take that away from me. Like just to have it. It'll always be in my back pocket. You just like being your own business person or anything, like you could put your all into that and you could be just as successful as someone who went to college for 4 years, 5 years, and slaved at everything, still making the same amount of money. I feel like if it's for you, then it's for you. Like, you can't tell someone, no, you can't go, you shouldn't go to college, or no, you need to go to college. Like, it has to be on you. Like, the first step is realizing, like, if you want to do it. You can't, nobody else can make you do it because you're not going to do it right, I feel like. So I would say my always thing is I would always encourage people to go to college because you do learn a lot of things, which is just like time management. You meet a lot of people, a lot of networking. Like, I know a lot of people know me that I don't even know that know me. You learn a lot of business skills. You learn a lot of skills just in anything, depending on what major you're in. It teaches you just a lot. Like, it teaches you how to step out of your comfort zone. You just learn how to be an adult, I feel like. Like, you learn how to juggle everything. And in life, that's what you're going to have to do in the real world. Like, you're going to have to juggle this. You're going to have to juggle bills. You're going to have to juggle your household. You're going to have to juggle your job. And it's just like, college sets you up for, like, life, I feel like. Even though you may not get your job that you think of that you're going to have when you leave, but just know that it prepared you for life, mentally, physically.
Okay. So, do you work?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, okay, where I work, I have like a couple jobs, you know, I be Ubering. It's like, nah, but I do be Ubering a little bit. I do work at Jersey Mike's Subs, and I do work the games on campus, like little basketball games, just security guard, just stand there. But you do get money, and it is still time, so yeah. But I don't really have like a real job where I go in 9 to 5. Like, no, I don't have that. I have little jobs I work on the weekend if I'm free.
Okay, so. And you're an athlete. So how do you juggle being an athlete, being a student, working on the side, and running your own clothing business?
Honestly, like, when you say it like that, it sounds like a lot, and it still is a lot, but like, I have an agenda. And I know for me with practice and stuff and being an athlete, like, that's mandatory. Like, you miss a day, like, they calling you, they telling you can't go to this meet, that meet, like, you can't do this, like, you suspended. Like, so they're on top of you. Like, it's no games. I have, like, classes in the morning, then I have practice during midday. Sometimes I have a little break, and I know that little break, if I don't do my homework then, I would never be done because I have practice all throughout the night, and then when I'm done with practice, I'm tired. So then you still got to go home and cook something to eat because I don't live in the dorms anymore. I'm living, like, apartments, so, like, you have to cook. Like, it's very time management. Like, I just know actually, track has honestly helped me to time manage because I know that I have that little break where I have to get everything done. But time management, being on top of your studies, I feel like have an agenda, have your alerts in your phone, you on your phone all the time. Like, I literally have, like, assignments in my calendar that come up as alarms for me to remember.
I mean, that's a lot.
It is a lot. Honestly, it ain't for everyone.
So being an athlete, where has that taken you?
Oh, that's taken me far. Sometimes, like, I don't want to be too dramatic, but track has honestly saved my life because honestly, like, I love my friends, but, you know, sometimes your friends don't make the best decisions, or sometimes your friends is really out there, or, you know, they just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, and you know how Albany High can get, where everyone walking and people fighting and stuff. I never really had to really experience that because I was at practice. I never missed out on big opportunities because I never missed out on big opportunities because I was always where I needed to be. It taught me self-discipline. It taught me how strong I am mentally, physically. It tested me to my waters, but then I overcame it. Like, I don't know, track has been a big part of my life. That's all I knew since 7th grade. Everyone knows me as track star. Oh, she runs track, blah, blah. But I would not be at Ualbanys, like, on campus, and I live in Albany, but living on campus, having free book scholarship, having a scholarship that take care of most of my bills, like, I would not have that if it wasn't for track. Granted, in Albany High School, I had good grades, but to get the amount of scholarship that I have, my grades wouldn't have covered that. Like,
yeah. Where have you traveled with track?
Where haven't I? Honestly, I traveled. Where did I travel? I traveled to Puerto Rico, Florida many of times, Myrtle Beach, Boston. We actually have a meet this weekend at Boston University. I think there'll be a link so y'all can watch that. Boston University, Vermont.
So you get to see part of the world.
Oh yeah,
track.
definitely.
Okay.
You get to see the world. You get to meet new people. You get to experience things, all on their expense.
You got to break it down to me. I don't know too much about track, so.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, like my good event for me at the moment that I'm starting to really peak in and starting to really break down and starting to really put more time is the 200 meter. My best time so far, which was 7:75. My 200 time, my best time was 24:79. My 300 time, which was my best time so far, that we're gonna handle that this weekend, but was a 40.3. I don't know. I'm starting to really peak, and I have big goals this year, and I have some times that I want to break or lower for myself personally.
I want you to plug your brand. Tell me a little bit about your brand. You know what I mean? Shout out your Instagram, your Snapchat, your Facebook for the brand. Let the people know. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead. Let me hear about it.
My brand is Fantasy Visions. I'm wearing it. You know, I had to pull up for this because I'm like, I know I got to shout this out, you know. But my brand is Fantasy Visions Collection. On Instagram, it's fantasy_visions. Facebook is Fantasy Visions Collection. Twitter is fantasy_visions. A little bit about my brand. How'd I break it down? It started in January, but I always wanted to do something in fashion. Like ever since I was young, I always thought I wanted to be a model or a fashion designer or this or that, but it was still in the fashion range. And one day I honestly just woke up and came up with the name and everything. Fantasy Visions come from just me in life fantasizing about things that I want to do and just being able to bring that to now be able to bring that to life, which is where fantasy comes from, and visions is how I'm bringing it out. Like everyone has a vision that can be seen. Honestly, like streetwear right now, I have like so many ideas that I want to put into it and put out there, but sometimes you don't have the tools at first. So like you keep working and working towards that. And that's what I'm doing right now. Honestly, I honestly took a break from it for right now just because I'm in school and everything. But the break was only to get more logos together, get more clothing ideas together, get more patterns, colors, everything to come back in 2019. And that's what I wanted to do with my brand. Just take a break, really get creative, let my creative side really run. I'm going to name it and claim it that in January 2019 that it'll be back out there. But yeah.
And that's good. That's good to stick with it.
Yeah.
If I can tell you anything, it's just stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nothing happens overnight.
Yeah, I know that.
So just stick with it. You know what I mean? Hopefully you get a good grade on this project you're doing. It was definitely a pleasure to have you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put this thing together and let the people hear you.
All right. Thank you though for having me, and thank you for letting me interview.
Yeah, you're welcome. And for the listeners and for the watchers, I want you guys to like, I want you guys to share, I want you guys to subscribe, but I really, 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 really want you to leave a comment and tell me a little bit about the show. But I don't have an ending yet. So I'm out of here.
All right.